It happened in 1847 when the Ferraro family got wiped out down by the mountains. And the Indians killed them off. So anyway, all the gold that they had, the Indians put back up in the caves and just covered them up, with rocks and branches and cactuses, and nobody knows where they're at.
Okay.
So anyway, they killed around close to 270 people, and from there, from 1891, the Lost Dutchman, which was one of the most richest of the claims, the guy that's who found it, so they named it after him. But
keep going.
okay, and the thing is, he died, and he tried to pass the treasure on. He was 91 years old when he died, and he had pneumonia, and he was trying to tell it to this woman and another man. And he drew a little map of the area, and of course, they'd never been in the mountains, so they didn't know where it was at. I mean, it's like if I drew you a map, and you've never been in the mountains, you're not going to find it either.
Right.
So the same thing happened to these two people. Then later on, she sold maps to people, and they'd been trying to find it from 1891 down to, say, 2015. They found over 100 different bodies that people have killed each other.
Okay.
People come up missing. People's had their heads chopped off. Seriously.
Now you're hoping to come back alive from this expedition, aren't you?
Yeah, I've been in the mountains.
Because
yeah,
our subscribers will certainly want that to happen at our group funding.
I always pack a gun.
But what I want you to do is to explain. Now you have heard of the Lost Dutchman's gold mine, haven't you?
I believe so. I think I might have heard of it.
Well, why don't you tell him all about it while he's... But go on, I'm sorry. Tell me what you know.
Start kind of over?
No, we're doing fine.
Oh, okay.
I think I've heard of the whole, people going out and trying to find this treasure, and they die, and they come back
they
missing.
get killed. A lot of
people. I'm sorry.
A lot of people, yeah.
That's
you can
about all
imagine
I've heard
100
about
people. I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot.
So tell them the basic story of the...
Well, there's different people, like there was a couple soldiers. They were coming from the, the Silver King mine. That was over by Wilson, or Pickett's post. Then there's another one where they used to also have a garrison over at McDonald, too, that they had cavalry. But anyway, they got mustered out, and they were going by to go to this mine. And anyway, they found it. Picked up some, rocks that was on the slag pipe, and stuff around it, and they took it with them. But they didn't know what they found. When they got there, they found out it was rich gold ore, and so they gave the mine owner the gold to hold for him, and took supplies and stuff, and was going to go back and get some more.
Okay.
But in the meantime, they got killed. Nobody knows where they're at. Killed them right off. And of course, there's other people that stumbled onto it by accident. Picked it up, and then got lost, couldn't find their way out of the mountains. Because back in there, you got you got at least 11 canyons, really deep canyons.
This is over in what area?
This is in the Superstition Mountains.
Okay.
It's about 25 miles long, 25 miles the other way.
Yeah.
It's up by, let's see, there's 3 lakes there. There's Apache Lake, and then there's Roosevelt Lake and so forth. Up the old Army trail. There used to be an old Army trail that the soldiers would take, when they was fighting Geronimo and people like that. And he's hid treasure in there too, because he couldn't carry it all over the place. I mean, Indians didn't carry gold. They didn't only to trade with white people to buy rifles.
Besides that, they didn't need it. Right?
Yeah, they didn't need it. They were self-sufficient, so to speak. And there's been, like I said, different people. There's a historical society down in Goldfield that a friend of mine, he rents horses down there. That's where I get my horses, and down at the stables, Goldfield. And we go back in, and there's been, probably 20 members that I know that's looked for it for 30, 40 years. And they're older than I am, some of these people. And I'm 71. So it's one of those things that I've been watching. I've been in the mountains probably 8 years, camping different times, and trying to find it. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean, you got rattlesnakes in there. You got mountain lions, bears.
What about the native Indians as well as there's
Well,
people that have
there's-
claims on they'll fire at you. You'll hear shots coming from
Well,
you don't know
sometimes
where.
that's true, but I've been lucky enough that hasn't happened to me.
Now, I was hoping you would ask who is the Lost Dutchman and what is the legend of the mine itself?
Well, him and his friend, he had a friend that came from Germany too, and they were called the Dutchmen, but they're really Germans.
Deutsch,
I mean,
yes.
they called them Deutsch,
Deutsch,
back
yeah.
in the day. But he got killed, but he got out and he gave this doctor a map. And the doctor wasn't interested because he was a doctor and he was making enough money and he was helping the Indians and so forth. So he didn't really look for the treasure. But he did have one of the original maps. And so there is some maps out there. You can probably buy a phony map for a couple dollars or so, but back then.
Right.
But they won't lead you a lot of places. It's like 20 people tell you, when school kids are having a contest or something, and you tell one kid and he tells another one back that on the 20th kid it won't be the same story at all.
Right.
It's the same thing with the treasure maps. People might sell you something and you won't be able to find it. It's one of those things. I've looked at them and tried to figure it out. I was closer when I first started than I am now sometimes. Because I got reading all these books, so I got about probably 20 books that the writers from 1890 down to now has wrote books and put in knowledge and stuff. But the trouble is, they don't give you enough facts. It's not like a murder mystery or something where you have facts and you can find the body and who did it. This tells you there's a treasure and you find it.
Yeah.
It's one of those days.
Okay, let's do this.